Joining us now is Special Agent Bobby Chacon. He's a former member of the FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force and is on with us on the live line tonight. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
FBI certainly involved and in very close contact with our friends in Great Britain. It's my understanding that the JTTF, the Joint Terrorism Task Force here in New York City, been working with them for years and years.
Sure. And in fact, we have an office. The FBI has a large office in London with FBI special agents that are stationed there full time, all the time. And so I'm sure our London office has agents on scene working with them as a conduit to our Joint Terrorism Task Force at FBI headquarters and then to all the JTTFs around the country.
Tonight, after they remove the dead and are able to get the forensics together, what is job number one on what is just the beginning of a terror investigation?
Well, actually, there's several job number ones, and these all happen simultaneously. It's not like you don't take away from one effort because you're looking at another effort. So already what's happening is the analysts are looking at any chatter that may have come in that seemed like it was aimed at an attack on a venue like this or a sporting event or a concert, where the chatter just didn't identify the target enough for us to know. But now we know what happened, so we can go back and look at some of that chatter and see if it makes sense that it was talking about this particular event. So analysts are already doing that. They're combing the chatter that happens in the last several weeks and months to see if anything matches up to this event. And so that's one happening. Another one is the physical evidence of the crime scene. They probably got body parts of the suicide bomber. There may be video, and they're looking at who this guy was. And that's why often you see in the hours and days preceding this or after this, you may see search warrants executed in and around Manchester or throughout the UK tomorrow because of evidence that they're developing tonight. They may get a driver's license. They may get something out of their physical evidence that can lead them to an apartment or to where this bomb was built. Most likely it was built close because they don't like to transport these kind of devices very far. So there's a place locally where this thing was built because it's very dangerous to transport it. So they're going to be looking for that kind of evidence. And then on a grander scale, on a more macro scale, they're looking at this device itself to see the signature. Can we match it up to other, we have the TDAC, the FBI database for explosives. And so they're probably looking at some of that stuff to see if we can't figure out a signature of this bomber. So there's a lot of things happening all at once simultaneously. It's a very complex investigation, a lot of moving parts.
How much of the investigation that's going on now is digital? And by that I mean trying to trace the digital footprint of whoever this was, just to make sure that there weren't others involved who might also want to act.
Well, that's exactly why they're looking at any of the chatter. If they can find a bit of chatter that seems to indicate this was the target, now that they know what the target was, they can actually do that digitally and spread out and look at all the other digital contacts that happen with that. So they're looking at the chatter. Beyond that, the rest of the digital searches may have to wait until they can get to one of those apartments close by to, find a laptop or find a computer or find a cell phone that these guys may have been using that's still able to get information extracted from it. So those are two different types of cyber avenues that they'll be looking at. One is already taking place because they can actually comb all the chatter that previously came in that they weren't able to attach to a specific venue, but now they may look back at it and go, oh, this is the venue they're clearly talking about now. We had the U2 concert here in LA over the weekend. When they get chatter about just general about a concert, they may not be able to tie it to a particular concert. They may not even be able to tie it to a particular country. But now that we have the attack, now we can go back and look at that chatter, and now maybe it can mean something, and we can take leads from that and explore them.
That same sort of thing is what happened. I was with our crews in Brussels after the attack on the airport there. It was the digital fingerprint that led them to this much larger cell.
Absolutely, absolutely. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to, because we know, as the previous guest said, that the bomber who wore that device most likely, almost definitely did not build the device. Those builders of these devices are too valuable. So those guys are somewhere close because they didn't transport that very far, although they could have planned this for days, and the builder of the bomb could actually take the time to be away from the location before the attack takes place. That would be a prudent tactic if they got him out of there, got him to either another part of the UK or out of the country in general, so that he's not caught up in the web. But you're right. It's just like Brussels in that they're going to be running all night with this stuff all day now. Daytime over there already, so they're going to be running all day. I wouldn't be surprised, and I hope to see, search warrants hit, during the day, and leads being developed from the physical evidence and some from the intelligence that they're combing through.
Yes, sunrise just minutes away. Before we go, I wonder if you could give our viewers some advice. I talked about the Pens and the Nashville Predators and others. Golden State, many of our West Coast viewers, you're in Los Angeles, many will know that the Warriors just won another game in the playoffs. They're 12-0 in the playoffs and going to the finals without a loss. And thousands and thousands of people are going to go to watch the Warriors in the finals. And those people who go to those events have a certain responsibility, or at least they can be very helpful. When the authorities say, see something, say something, for what should people be looking specifically? Without seeming paranoid, just how do you help?
Well, being a veteran of several Olympics, and I've done security at several Olympics, quite frankly, as simple as you can do it is backpacks, right? Backpacks or bags. It sounds simple, I know, and it may be obvious to a lot of people, but, most of these stadiums do not allow you to carry backpacks in. Most people attending these events know that, so they wouldn't be approaching a venue like this with a backpack on. If you see somebody with a backpack or somebody with a large duffel bag, there's no reason that you or I attending one of these games, if we're a knowledgeable sports fan, we know this is our team, we know this venue, we know we're not allowed to bring that there. And so if you see someone close and you see them focused on getting closest to the venue and they're wearing a backpack or they're carrying a big bag, that's something that you should, I know it seems obvious, but it's something you should be aware of. And it's something you should bring to the attention of authorities, because anybody coming to these, it's been long enough now. Anybody coming to these venues knows, if you're not going to probably be allowed with a backpack in there or a big duffel bag or something like this, because these devices need to be hidden. And so just look at something that might hide the devices, and that should be something, you look for and say something to somebody.
Certainly do appreciate it. If you see something, say something. No time like now. Thanks so much for the expertise.
Absolutely.